Hey, I'm being told that you guys are about to see what I'm seeing too. So don't fucking break when it starts to happen. If you haven't already seen it, fucking disappearing white cars, appearing vehicles, the other beings amongst us. Everyone's telling me it's just gonna get so much more exciting in 2020. It's like, either you guys already knew about all this shit or it's gonna really fucking rack your minds. Don't let it break you. I've been saying for a while there's locks on this stuff, on the secrets of the world. There's like gates you have to pass and you have to use emotional intelligence to unlock them. And obviously creative intelligence too. But there's like emotional locks on it. I've talked about cryptography before. And they I can come up with some pretty interesting cryptography myself. All sorts of shit I can come up with. Cryptography that decays over time, that gets destroyed. If you break in, if you break into the pyramid and shit, and you don't know what you're doing, step on the wrong fucking mechanical switch, the puzzle collapses. You can't unlock it. Fucking, that's my type of cryptography, but it's done in a much simpler form. In some ways, it's simple. Remembering the code is the hard part. That's the hard part of the cryptography is remembering the code and remembering what not to do to break the fucking deciphering tool, the code. But anyway, some of these fucking gates have emotional locks on them. And if you break under the pressure of this one, I suppose you don't make it out to the other side, fucking period. So, those of you who are just awakening to the material world around us, it's a different world. There's something else in this material world. And it has fucking some crazy powers. You probably do too, though, but your first power should be to fucking remain calm and tell yourself, if you see it repeatedly, that you're not crazy, because they're definitely going to push the crazy button over and over and over. And I suppose many have seen this before and entered this world, and maybe that's why everyone who enters this world remains a slave to this world, because, like the New World Order people and all that shit. Donald Trump, everyone does that shit. Kobe, LeBron, Eminem. You break into their world, fucking, they have tests set up. And the first of those tests is if you're fucking strong enough to be in that world. And it's like, yeah, it's fucking fun. Fun times. Fun times for someone like me. But be on the lookout for these things. I looked this up online, and other people have mentioned before that they've seen disappearing vehicles and stuff like that, but maybe not at the rate I have. I pushed the buttons required to gain access to the insight, one way or the other. Prayer through God, manifestation, using their symbols, using other symbols. Just being ready for it might be the first key. But definitely be on the lookout for that shit. You guys are experiencing a lot of shit in 2020, and I was like, at the start of the year, I was like, yeah, everyone gets to be in my world now. And it's like, no, my world has moved. Fuck on. My world has collided with another world at this point. Fucking. So, like, I'm done with that world. Fucking. Well, I'm kind of buying into it at this point. But, man, this other shit out here, dude. That's some crazy shit going on. I don't know what to think of anything I see in any of my interactions anymore. I'm basically jumping out at people, fucking asking them what's going on. Like, every time I interact with someone. And a portion of the people are fucking trying to either lead me on or they're trying to fucking tell me more and shit. Or they're doing both. And again, it's a similar situation. You gotta see through the lies. You gotta attempt to see through the lies and fucking see what is real. And this shit is real. When I'm seeing shit appearing and disappearing, maybe it's easier for me because I got like some of my mirrors blocked off. So I don't always have a full view. There seems to be something about view. I mentioned this about draw distance at one point. I was like trying to view off into the distance to see like if there was like an end to it. And it's like when I look into the sky with the right conditions, I can see like nebulas in the sky. So I don't know about the draw distance, you know, or what nebulas even are, because I haven't visited them yet, or that I can recall. I haven't visited them. Not in this lifetime, but something to do with looking away can make stuff appear where it once wasn't, or disappear where it once was. It's got something to do with the power they're using to harness fucking this ability they use. But maybe that'll become useful, especially if these are not like the best of beings with the best of intent. That might become very useful if this planet is being taken over and overran. I've been thinking of making some contraptions where I can like see around me at all times, and that way that can't happen. Shit can't appear. But when I've tried to lose them and shit, like there's almost always something. I mean, I can like lose it. Somehow I can like lose their trail. I noticed that in my travels. But generally, for the most part, like if I'm in sight range, they can like, it's like they can reappear fucking like where I'm going or some shit, like another one of them. Not necessarily another one, but not necessarily the same. It doesn't look the same. It'd be like someone standing there on the corner and shit like that. Someone standing halfway down the street. And then that allows them to like transfer that to like the next area or some shit. You know, down the next road as I'm like fucking cutting off trails and you know, swerving and zigzagging all over the place to try to confuse them as to where I'm going next and stuff like that. But definitely be on the lookout for this type of shit, because whatever's happening in this world and the shit going on in 2020 is deeply linked to these people, as if you guys didn't know that already. As if I suggest when I see like one of them with like every one of you, like you guys go make a record deal, you guys make a band, there's always one there, there's always one around. I go to the store, there's like one in like every group now I see, and I'm like, why is this old 80-year-old looking person look at that fucking Dude, why did my lights just go off? And I couldn't turn them back on. That's a weird situation for me. I didn't know this vehicle does that. Does your vehicle do that? I don't remember that. I don't remember any of my vehicles doing that before. And everything behind me looks more blacked out now than it was. Why can't the lights in front of me go off? That'd be nice. But yeah, lots of crazy shit going on. Fucking, I was saying welcome to my world at the start of 2020. But you guys aren't going to feel very welcome when you meet this part of the world. It doesn't feel very welcoming, at least at first. Maybe it's supposed to after that, and I'm just not accepting of it. But you guys should know what I think of it, especially if you've seen on my Facebook, like the posts I've been making and stuff. Can you even see that? I notice I post on some of their pages and stuff, and my comments don't show up. Either like a lot of people remove my comments if it's like slightly negative, like, oh, that band sucks now anyway, they sold out, I'll move on. Fucking lots of crazy shit going on. Welcome to my world. Once you see it, fucking just remember I was there first. I wonder how many of you haven't already experienced this, like I was saying before, the lights wanted to go out and make me restart the car to turn them back on. Fucking I wonder how many of you haven't already bought into the system and been paid out by it. I was never really told to stay too silent, so I don't see why anyone else would stay silent on seeing this stuff. Maybe it's because they feel like they're fucking crazy and shit, 'cause some of the shit they see. Maybe it's because they're scared. Maybe it's because they actually access the stuff like in a manner where they were given rules. Maybe they were brought into this. And maybe I kicked the door in and fucking walked into the joint. Fucking. That's kind of what I get the idea of, because I wasn't given any rules when I fucking got dropped into this fucking section of the game. And that's like my style anyways. Like, I don't get fucking bought and fucking sold. I kick doors. Fucking. That's that. That's the end of that and shit. But I do see like a lot of people in all their ventures around these people. It makes me wonder. I seen something a couple years ago. Make me think if the humans even exist. Fucking. Because I walked into this joint and finally slowed down, and I could analyze the situation around me. And I just had this weird ass feeling when I went into it. I was like, man, this was like a showroom or something. Like, I walked in and like animatronic humans started dancing and jumping around and headbanging and shit. And several animatronic musicians might have done the same thing. Yet there was always one of them amongst the group who stood out to me and like seemed more interactive than the rest, seemed more aware than the rest, more aware of their own presence in the room around them. And I was like, I was thinking, fucking, are these people, is this person like puppeteering like the whole fucking room? Are they creating like an illusion that there's like an event here and shit going on? And to what extent, you know? Like, did the humans even exist? Like, with what I'm seeing when I go into stores now, like, I rarely see a human unless they allow one who doesn't speak English or something. Like I see, like, black people and I see, like, fucking Mexicans and shit. I haven't seen many Caucasians in a long time. It's like, it's been, like, such a short thing. Short-lived, like a long-lived thing so far that it's become like a norm to me. I'm just used to it at this point. It's like, okay, there's no more humans on Earth. There's just these other beings and shit. Not what I expected in Portland or Washington, Oregon. I guess I wasn't too surprised in California. I will say one thing though, like my looks have changed since I've came out here. Like, I'm like orangish now. And I know what tanning is, motherfuckers. I used to do that a lot. Like every aspect of me kinda has turned a little. Like there's just something, there's like, it's not just like my skin, it's like everything kind of has like this different like bronze golden glow to it. And one thing I noticed is like I get that same interaction when I stare into the sun. Like I stared into the sun for like 5, 10, 15 minutes the other day. And then when I looked away, like the whole world had that same bronze gold coating to it. And I understand that could be explained as like retina burn or whatever. Not always does staring into the sun do much to me though. Like the simple fact I can stare into the sun, like I don't know if other people can even do that. You're not supposed to stare into the sun and all this shit, and you can't stare in the sun and all this shit. It makes me want to stare into the sun during an eclipse to see what happens and shit. I've been wanting to do that for a long time before I noticed any of this stuff. Before I even started, like, looking at the sun, really. Weird placements of the sun, too. It's almost like it grew brighter and shit when I was staring into it, asking it to fucking grow brighter. In fact, I mean, it kind of did. My eyes started watering after a minute of staring into it and it seemingly getting brighter. I also seen it move the other day. It was over here. And this dude, Dean, who like always seems to have, like not always, but a lot of times seems to have some sort of negative interaction. Maybe it is always, and I'm just being kind. So he comes over and talks to me, and then the sunlight disappears, but it moved first. It moved over because I had a tree line it was lined up with. Or it wasn't lined up with at first, and then I looked back and it was like lined up with the tree line, and it's like it wasn't progressing the direction it's supposed to. It kind of went back the other direction. It's weird how interactions I've had almost have been reflected in the stratosphere. I swear one time the clouds were moving when I wanted them to move. They moved really fast that one time. maybe that was just nothing. I've tried to work with the wind a lot less than I have the sun, but things have definitely happened a couple times. I have. Not every time. Probably not most of the time, but enough times for me to be like, really? Like, did I have anything to do with that? It's just kind of like the fires that are going on and shit. Like, literally, if you follow that fire map, you were following the places I was driving and shit. Like, where did the fires start and then where did they go? Where did Sean start and where did he go? Kind of odd. But definitely seeing this other shit. Be on the lookout for it. And don't let it fuck your head up. Is everyone else already a part of this other shit? Everyone else already, or a lot of other people already know these fucking secrets. Some people genuinely act like they don't understand the world. Guess it took me a minute to start seeing this stuff and figuring it out too. But, don't let it fucking wreck your brain when you start to see it. I'm being told this shit's going to get shown to everyone. And it's going to be a lot more than that. So, don't let it wreck your brain or you fucking fail the first test. And it might be hard to pass any other test ever again in life if you let this shit wreck your brain.